Okay, so today and tomorrow, over the next couple days, I'm going to be working on getting the coilover setup finished. I'm basically converting this truck from four-wheel drive to two-wheel drive, doing a coilover conversion on the front. I welded in some gussets here for the coilovers. I'm doing all new control arms just to get rid of like the old rusty stuff, and it was actually pretty cheap. The new upper and lower arms with the ball joints and bushings and everything in it. I did also order new spindles, so I have two-wheel drive Ranger Edge spindles coming. This is a 1998. And it has the torsion bar front end, or had the torsion bar front end, cut all that stuff out. And I went with a 2001 Ranger Edge spindle. So the Ranger Edge has a two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive version, and I basically just got a whole front end setup from that. The spindle, the brake rotors, the wheel bearing, I had to order like a nut, a bushing, a nut retainer, basically everything that's needed to go into it, and I hope it works, because obviously it's not a direct swap for this year, but through reading through some forums, people say that it works, so we're gonna try. So today I'm just gonna start working on getting the control arms and everything installed. I don't have the spindles yet, but we'll get that going. All right, kids and squids, we got the one arm on there, so I just got some new grade 8 bolts and matched everything. Said in the last video, one of them I had to cut off, and then the other one I cut partially, so I just ended up switching all of them out. Now I'm gonna put this sway bar link on there. So, sway bar damper, whatever you want to call it. Not even sure. But this thing just kind of all comes apart. It's a bunch of different pieces. And then the sleeve kind of slides off of here. So you have two bushings, one connecting to the sway bar, one connecting to the arm. And they do have these little lips inside there. So that's what's going to go inside the holes. So this one goes here, the little lip goes up this way, and I put the sleeve on. I can just kind of push the arm out of the way. So I'll put the little washer on to cup the other bushing. I'm missing a washer. There we go. Now we're making sense. So this one goes on, then the sleeve goes on. And the other washer, and the bushing. Now I can push this up. I'll put the other ones down on the bottom. It's a little tricky because it's kind of, you gotta get the threads, you gotta push it through enough to be able to catch a couple threads on the nut on the bottom side. There we go. Not so bad. Nice and sturdy. Now I'm going to get the tie rod ends off. I was going to kind of be lazy and not take these off because the new tie rod ends are actually shorter, so now I know I'm going to have to really mess with the alignment. I was kind of hoping that I could just keep this one on and not mess with the alignment. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where this is, and then mark the center point of the ball joint here, and then I'm gonna try to get that same distance from this thread count. Like I'll count the number of threads, and then I'll measure it to the center point of here, and then I'll just get that kind of dialed. But that might be completely irrelevant because I'm putting different spindles on it anyways, so the spindle alignment might not even matter. All right, so I did the other side already. And I was thinking about it a little bit more, and I'm like, there's got to be a jam nut on there. And this is actually a jam nut. So the whole length thing I was talking about is irrelevant. This is a jam nut, and these are actually the same length. So I'm going to put some heat on it, just like I did the other side. The issue is, this is all rusted over, so it all looks like one piece. So I thought, just by looking at it, that it was all one piece. But it's not. So the last one, I just put a little bit of heat on it like this, and it came off real easy. The other one went on real easy. And I didn't even really have to rotate the nut. So, and yeah, it's gonna have a nut on it because this shaft can actually still rotate. If it didn't have a nut on it, like a jam nut, this would still spin and it would throw your alignment off constantly while you're driving. So yeah, it's got a jammy on it. There we go. this will just come right off. Yeah, everything's all rusted over, so it all looked like one piece. And this one, I don't even think really rotated. Yeah, and that one's still like locked onto the shaft, so that's pretty good there. We'll just keep that jam nut in the same spot, and I'll spin the new one on. The new one actually comes with a cotter pin, a grease zerk, and a different nut. It's not a castle nut, but it has a castle nut on it. So I'm just going to leave that one on there. And all the ball joints are pre-greased, which is nice. I don't have a grease gun. I just don't even own one, so that works out because they're already greased. So what I'll do is get this thing snug. There. And the jam nut didn't even move. So that should actually be decent. Then I'll put this grease zerk on and tighten it and make sure that both of them are tight, because like this one's just hand tight in there. So I'll go ahead and use this excessively large adjustable to do my job here. And then I'm just gonna put this cotter pin in just like I did the other side. I'm not gonna bend it over yet, just gonna put it here so I don't lose it. And I don't have to mess with keeping track of the bag like that. So that's decent. I did scratch my paint off, so I'll probably repaint that thing. I got a lot more painting in here to do anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, that went a lot better than I was planning, because I was just gonna skip that part because of what I explained before. So that's good. I gotta put the top arms now, and then I should be good to, after that, to wait for the spindles. Alright, so I started to put the top arms on, and then I realized I gotta adjust the camber too. And basically, this is where the stock bolt position is. It's about halfway through this little slot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually push this thing forward, because the wheels tilt in quite a bit, and this is essentially the stock position. So what I can do is just modify these plates a little bit and push them all the way out, and that should give me the distance I need. I did buy this kit a while back, and it has these little plates with this adjustment, but I mounted them on there, and I don't really think I like it, because it does push them all the way to the front of the slot, but they're completely round all the way around. So my thought on it is, if it's pushed all the way out, what's to stop it from kind of rotating inside this slot? And I mean, I know you got to tighten it, and it'll be tight and probably hard to move, but with a lot of vibration over time, I feel like that thing would have a tendency to maybe shimmy and lose position. So what I'm going to do is just modify these plates a little bit. So this one, it's pushed all the way out, but you can see there's kind of some slop in it. So what I'm going to do is push this all the way out, and then I'll just add a little bit, just like weld a little bit on here and grind it back to where it fits, and pushes the bolt all the way out. And then the one on the back side, I'm going to have to just shave it down a little bit, which is basically this one here. It's kind of got this oval shape, and it allows you to turn it and adjust the position. But I'm just going to flatten that out a little bit more, and then both of them should be able to just push the thing all the way out. So that should be okay. I don't know exactly how far out I need to go with it. I'm just going to push them all the way out as far as I can, and then put it down on the wheels and see where it ends up. It should be better than it was before, because you could visually see that the wheels were tilted in. So pushing that top arm out about a half an inch, 3/8 of an inch, should get it closer. But it's not going to be perfect. All right, so I did go through and modify these things. You can see I just welded a little bit of a bead on the end of that to push that bolt all the way forward. Same with that one. I just put a couple tacks on there, really, to kind of push it over to the side. And then on the other one, that was already kind of rounded and flat like that, so I just flattened it out a little bit more so it would fit. So essentially all that's going to do is push both of these to the front of that slot instead of being in the middle of the slot. All right, little man is working on taking the old motor mounts apart. Right, bud?
Yeah.
He's just playing. All right, so I did get the rest of this set up together. So I got the upper arm on. Those are adjusted so they're all the way out. So this is a 2001 two-wheel drive Ranger Edge spindle. The Ranger Edge came in two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and they both had the torsion bar set up. So this is a spindle from that. Actually, everything went together perfect. I did test the brake caliper bolts right on, so that should be good. I do have a whole bunch of other little packages here because I had to order basically everything for that separately. So it's going to be the wheel bearings, the nut retainer, the washer, everything that goes with this, and the brake rotors. So right now I'm working on doing the passenger side, and the passenger side has this like weird arm that's actually just a two-piece like bolt-on piece with a little slider and an adjustable bolt. I got one of the nuts off. The other nut, my impact battery died, so I'm charging that up. So when that's all good, I'll come back and we'll put the other one on. We'll go ahead and get the driver's side, or passenger side spindle on. I didn't get that top arm on yet, upper arm. All right, so that one's on. Slide this guy in. I never actually dealt with a spindle setup like this before, so this will be a learning experience for me. I've always dealt with, I guess, like the CV axle style spindle that has, you know, like the 3 bolts that bolt the whole wheel bearing hub on. Tie rod end actually came with a cotter pin. Get that guy through there right away. Sweet. All right, so I didn't really do too much else on this side since I got this on. I'm probably going to go ahead and paint this arm. I'm just going to leave that one for now. I think the Ranger Edge actually has a one-piece arm, so I might look into getting one of those, but it's not too critical right now. I did go ahead and drill out these 2 holes right here. The T-bar kit bolts are a little bit bigger, so I drilled those out. And then back over on the driver's side, I did get the coilover kind of mounted in there. I did get the bolts in. I didn't tighten anything really down here. Like I said, drilled those out. I actually had to modify this hole a little bit and bring the angle of the bolt down to get this thing to swing over. So it was a little tight there. You can see there's some kind of rust falling down from rubbing on the inside of this. So I brought this down a little bit so I could swing the bottom over because this wasn't completely centered. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this thing for now. I do have to get some bolts for this that are the correct size with some washers, so I'll probably get some grade 8 bolts. This is a 1/2 inch bolt. I'll probably get some washers for these bolts also. And then I do have to pick up some grease for the wheel bearing. The bearings are going to need to be packed with grease. And it's getting kind of late tonight. It's already like 7:30 and I got to work in the morning. So I'm going to get this video up, and the next video this should be finished and then sitting down on the ground. I think in the next video I would like to focus more on what parts I used to do this and make that video just dedicated to the 2-wheel drive conversion for the front. So that'll be next time. See you guys later.